Do you know what the worst kind of punishment is? Not prison, not death. It's living with your own mind, every day, every hour, every second, knowing you ruined someone's life and nobody ever found out. That's the kind of punishment that never ends. This is the story of a man who lived with a secret for 50 years, and finally, his memory started to speak back. Arthur Hale was 70 years old. He lived in a big old house that looked expensive, but it felt empty. The walls were full of awards, photos, and trophies, but none of them brought him peace. He woke up at 6 a.m. every day, not because he wanted to, but because his mind wouldn't let him sleep. He would sit in his chair, look at the window, and watch the street. Young people walking fast, laughing, living. And Arthur felt something he hadn't felt in years: regret. His hands shook when he held a cup of tea. His back was curved. His eyes were tired. But the worst part was the silence. In the quiet, he could hear something that wasn't there. A name. Elena. Every time he heard it, he felt like someone was standing behind him, not physically, but inside his mind. Arthur was not always like this. 30 years ago, he was a respected man, a leader, a role model, a man of integrity. People trusted him. They believed his words. They followed his advice. He had a wife, friends, and power. He went to events, gave speeches, and smiled for cameras. He was the kind of man people said, he is a good man. But that good man was built on lies, and those lies were about to come back. When Arthur was 28, he worked at a big company. There was a young girl named Elena. She was 19, quiet, and hardworking. Arthur saw her, and he wanted something he shouldn't have wanted. He used his power. He pressured her. He threatened her. He crossed the line. And Elena was scared. She tried to speak up. She tried to tell the truth, but Arthur didn't panic. Instead, he used his influence. He used the police. He used the press. He used his friends. He told everyone Elena was unstable. He said she was lying. He said she wanted money. He said she was obsessed. Because Arthur was powerful and Elena was just a girl, no one believed her. They fired her, they ignored her, they made her disappear. Arthur watched her life break apart, and he felt nothing. He became successful. He became famous. He became a good man. But Elena became a ghost living in silence. Now, 50 years later, Arthur was alone. His wife was dead. His friends were gone. He had no one left to praise him, only his memories. And one memory was stronger than all the others, the memory of Elena's face the last time he saw her. Not angry, not screaming, just empty, like someone whose life was stolen. Arthur tried to ignore it, but the memory didn't go away. It started asking questions. Why did you ruin my life? Did you enjoy it? What did you do with the future you stole? The questions were not loud. They were calm. They were inside him, and they hurt more than any scream. One night, Arthur decided to write everything down. He sat at his desk and wrote for hours. He described every detail, how he used his power, how he destroyed Elena's reputation, how he enjoyed the feeling of control, how he didn't feel guilty. When he finished, he looked at the paper. He wanted to send it to someone, but he had no one to send it to. Elena was gone. No one would read it. He realized the truth. His confession would not fix anything. It would only make him feel better. He tore the paper into pieces, and he understood something he never understood before. His punishment was not being caught. His punishment was living with the truth. After that night, the memories grew stronger. Arthur started hearing things, not ghosts, not voices, just the feeling of being watched. He would sit in his kitchen and feel someone sitting in the chair across from him. He would see Elena's face in his mind every time he closed his eyes. He began to feel something else, too. Fear. Not fear of death, fear of his own mind. He started seeing Elena in small moments, when he opened the fridge, when the clock ticked, when the wind moved the curtains, when the lights flickered. He realized his mind was not peaceful. It was a courtroom, and Elena was the judge. One night, Arthur heard a soft knock. Not loud, not aggressive, just a calm knock. He stood up slowly. His heart was beating fast. He opened the door. No one was there. But on the floor was a small envelope. No stamp, no name, just his name. He opened it. Inside was a single sentence. "You can't hide forever." Arthur's hands shook. He looked around. No one. Only silence. But the silence felt like a voice. Days passed. Arthur stopped eating. He stopped looking at his awards. He stopped talking. He became a shell of the man he once was. The memories didn't stop. They got stronger. He began to feel Elena's presence everywhere. He started to hear her questions again. "Why did you ruin my life? Did you enjoy it? What did you do with my future?" Arthur couldn't sleep. He couldn't think. He couldn't live. He realized the truth. He was not afraid of death. He was afraid of living with what he had done. On a cold Thursday morning, the nurse arrived. She found Arthur sitting in his chair. His eyes were open. His face was calm, but his body was dead. No sign of struggle, no sign of pain, just silence. The nurse called it a peaceful death, but Arthur didn't die peacefully. He died with Elena's question. His obituary praised him. They wrote, "He was a great man. He contributed to the city. He was respected. The world celebrated him again, and the truth stayed buried." But Arthur's mind didn't need the world. His mind was the only one who remembered, and his mind never stopped asking. Time does not heal. Time only hides. You can hide your crimes. You can hide your secrets. But you can never hide them from your own mind, because your mind remembers everything. And one day, when you are alone, your memory will speak, and you will have to